Well, thank you, Bob. It looks like we're going to have baseball here in about 3 minutes, so that means it'll be about an hour-and-a-half rain delay. They put the tarp on right around 7 o'clock, and then it rained hard for about an hour. Not much reason to smile at all, as a highly anticipated matchup between two hot teams was put on hold for a while. At least Nick Swisher put the rain to good use. But then the birds came in, the rain flew away, they readied the field, and then the sun came out. How perfect that where LeBron James plays, the sun shines over Quicken Loans Arena. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Miller High Life, good honest beer at a tasty price. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by Avis, the official rental car company of the New York Yankees. Well, we should have baseball here shortly. It's the Indians against the Yankees in the first game of a 4-game set. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Well, the Yankees took 2 out of 3 in Texas from the Rangers, and when they started that series, the Rangers had the best record in the American League. They enjoyed an off day yesterday. Many people in the traveling party on the Yankees actually went to see the Cavaliers and the Magic at Quicken Loans Arena. An unbelievable performance by LeBron James, but now everybody is here at Progressive Field. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup that Cliff Lee's going to face, and the lineup is presented as always by BMW. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second and playing left field, Johnny Damon. Mark Teixeira at first base will hit third. Cleaning up and playing third base is Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano in his last 8 games is heating up. The second baseman provides protection for Rodriguez. He'll bat fifth. Jorge Posada back in the lineup for the first time since May 4th. He'll catch. He's going to bat sixth, batting seventh, and DHing Hideki Matsui. Nick Swisher's in right field, batting eighth, and batting ninth and playing center field, Brett Gardner.
Well, New York Yankees are going to go to work against Cliff Lee, left-hander. It's going to be his 11th start of the season. The record not very impressive, but the ERA is 3.04. Only 14 walks in 68 innings. Outstanding. Take a look at our Jeep pitcher scouting report. He's the defending champ, the 2008 Cy Young Award winner. 22 wins, 2.54 ERA, and a little something for his effort. He has 5 losses. The Indians have scored him 6 runs spread across those 5 losses, so he's looking for some more run support. A little personal attention. Kelly Shopik, his personal catcher, has started the last 30 games for the Cy Young Award winner.
And the game before the 30th, well, that was Victor Martinez behind the plate. Victor Martinez is at first base tonight for the Indians. So we're ready for baseball here at Progressive Field. It will be a rain delay of about an hour and 30 minutes. The good thing is that they knew the rain was coming. The pitchers did not have to warm up, so they did not leave anything out in the bullpen with 2 warm-ups. Derek Jeter digs in. Cliff Lee, the defending Cy Young Award winner, is on the mound. He's ready. We're ready. Let's do it. The first of 4 here in Cleveland, Ohio, between the Yankees and the Indians. And Lee winds, kicks, and deals. There's a strike, and we are underway. Jeter 6 hits in his last 14 at-bats, 14 hits in his last 32 at-bats. He has the average up to 297. Line drive, base hit. And that is his 5th straight game leading off with a hit. So Derek Jeter starting this game in proper fashion for the Yankees with a leadoff single.
Well, the New York Yankees took 2 out of 3 in Texas. They had 50 hits spread out over 3 days. And Derek Jeter has been doing this 5 consecutive games, leading off a base hit. You set the tone. You mentioned the off day yesterday for the Yankees. They were able to enjoy themselves, relax a little bit. But Derek Jeter gets the line moving again with a leadoff base hit.
Jeter has 10 stolen bases. He's been caught just once. And here's Johnny Damon. Pitch is outside, 1-0. Damon, a .307 career hitter against the Indians. He's 3 for his last 13, 5 for his last 17. And there's a strike. Count 1-1.
The Yankees facing Cliff Lee. You know what you're going to get. I mean, he's got a decent fastball, but he pounds the strike zone, throws a lot of strikes. The New York Yankees, your scouting report, go up there, be aggressive, and Johnny Damon does not have impressive numbers off of Lee.
Popped up. Giving chase is Peralta, and he'll run out of room. Let's take a look at the Indians defense presented by our good friends at Home Depot. In the outfield, Mark DeRosa in left, Trevor Crow in center, and Ben Francisco over in right. You've got Peralta, Cabrera, Carroll, and Martinez. That's third to first. Shopik is behind the plate, and Cliff Lee is on the mound.
Michael, you mentioned two hot ball clubs coming in. The Indians have won 4 in a row, swept the Rays. They're a ball club. They swing the bats about middle of the pack, third in runs, first and on base, but the rest of the numbers about middle of the pack. But they're really struggling on the mound. 5.43 ERA for the staff. Their bullpen has been in flux. Eric Wedd's the manager, looking to get some stability in the rotation in the pen.
That's a weak hack there by Damon. And he's now 1 for 19 against Lee. You could see, John, he just doesn't see the ball well against Lee.
Yeah, there are some guys who just can't pick the ball up out of his hand. It looked like he was thinking about an off-speed pitch and got a fastball in the inner half. And I mentioned it with Lee. He's going to throw strikes. He's not one of these guys who's going to nibble. He'll come right at you, try to get ahead in the count, and stays aggressive all the way through.
That'll bring up Mark Teixeira. Pitch is up and away. Now, John told you about the lack of run support for Lee. The Tribe averaging 2.9 runs per game in his 10 starts. For all the other starters, they average 6 runs per game. This is a team that can hit. And you see a lot of that throughout baseball. When your ace is on the mound, sometimes you don't score. Broken bat, and that is dunked into right field for a base hit. Jeter around second. He'll go to third. And the Yankees have runners on the corners with 1 out. Another broken bat for Teixeira, but it pays off for him.
It seems like every time Mark Teixeira centers a ball, it goes out of the ballpark, and this is how hot he is. The fastball off the plate, shatters the bat, but when you're going right, the end result is a little base hit to right field. Derek Jeter, no doubt about it, is going to end up at third base. Mark Teixeira cannot do anything wrong offensively lately.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Good numbers against Lee lifetime, 5 for 13. He is 7 for his last 13 overall. Really starting to heat up. 258. Pitches outside. 1-0. The official rain delay, 1 hour and 25 minutes. So the official start time was to be 7:05. And Lee threw the first pitch at 8:30. Pitch is high.
We saw from Alex Rodriguez in that Texas Rangers series. Really seems like he's starting to pick up rotation on the ball a little bit earlier than he did the first 50 at bats. Was laying off some tough sliders, handling the fastball inside.
Fastball outside there. Count 2-1.
It looked like Lee took a little bit off. It didn't look like a changeup. It was more like a batting practice fastball. You're geared for about 90, 91. You get one that's about 84, and you're going to be out in front a little bit.
What's the difference between a BP fastball and a change? Is it just the wording?
Not really. If Lee's throwing 90 miles an hour, he'll throw a batting practice fastball, you'll call it, where it's like 84, 85.
So he still grips it like a fastball.
Yeah, and still throws it the same, just takes a little bit off. A changeup is going to be slower.
And A-Rod, who has shown so much patience since coming up the DL, walks to load the bases. Let's take a look at the umpires tonight. Behind the plate is Tim Cheetah. Bob Davidson is at first, Jeff Nelson at second, and Mark Carlson is over at third. I think Mark Carlson was the umpire that was thrown out of the game by Carlos Zambrano. He threw Zambrano out, and then Zambrano threw him out, and Zambrano got a 6-game suspension for his outburst. Zambrano, the pitcher for the Cubs. And then he destroyed a Gatorade dispenser in the dugout. That was classic snappage, John.
And then he chose not to, well, he got the suspension, but he's not going to appeal it. That was such a snappage. Lou Piniella got a kick out of it. You don't see that every day.
Cano pops one up down the left field line. Giving chase is DeRosa on the run. He dives. He can't make the play. It's a foul ball.
Mark DeRosa, a little super utility player. I've seen him play the infield, laying out on that rubberized warning track. I can't feel too good diving head first.
Cano does not have great numbers lifetime with the bases loaded. Just a .244 hitter, but he's hit one ball out. The 0-1. Foul back over the screen.
And Kelly Shopping is going to have a little conversation. That fastball was supposed to be away. It ended up middle in. So Cliff Lee doesn't look locked in on his location so far, but he is proud of his fastball coming right at the Yankee batters.
Lee had a dream season last year. He started the All-Star game for the American League at Yankee Stadium. Won the Cy Young Award, but has gotten off to a shaky start, at least record-wise so far this year, 2-5. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Lee, second out. Big strikeout.
Yeah, Lee did a nice job setting up that curveball with back-to-back fastballs. Kind of had Robinson Cano sped up. We'll take a look at our pitch by pitch. First pitch fastball in. Next pitch fastball supposed to be away, ends up in. And then you drop this big 12-6 slow curveball for the strikeout.
And now a nice spot for Jorge Posada coming off the DL. He has not played since May 4th when he strained his hamstring sliding into second. Very odd way to strain a hamstring. But he was getting off to a good start before he got hurt. .312, 5 homers and 20 ribbies, and on-base percentage over 40%. Switch hitter bats from the right side against Lee. Up and away. Posada lengthens the Yankee lineup. He brings a bat that's hit 226 lifetime home runs into the fray.
Talking to Jorge before the game, he said he was really concerned in Florida in those minor league games just how the leg was going to react. Wanted to get his legs underneath him. Asked him how he felt at the plate swinging the bat. He said, you know, not bad. Had 6 at-bats yesterday.
Pretty good resume right there. Career high in 07 average-wise. 4-time world champion. 5-time All-Star. He's sporting an unbelievable tan. I said, wow, were you at the beach a lot? He goes, this is a farmer's tan. I got this on the field work. And he said it was so hot down there, it was unbelievable. 2-0. Fouled away.
Pretty good pitch, pretty good swing from Jorge Posada. Like you said, Michael, he lengthens this lineup. Hideki Matsui moves to 7th. Nick Swisher 8th. Brett Gardner 9th. Hideki Matsui heated up a little bit in Texas. Couple of home runs.
Just missed that one. You can see how angry he was with himself. So the count is level at 2-2.
Had a couple of good fastballs to hit. He had a couple of good swings. Fastball out over the plate. Right on it. Fouls it straight back. Shows a little frustration. Now you got to start thinking maybe that curveball's going to come. Lee does a nice job throwing fastballs in on right-handers for strike 3. That's got to be in the back of Jorge Posada's mind as well.
Bases loaded with the Yankees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Foul back. They'll do it again. Just underway, an hour and 25-minute rain delay. And each of the last 4 games the Indians have played, they've had lengthy rain delays. And the pitch. Fouled away. Now the Indians have won 4 in a row. They actually swept the Tampa Bay Rays. They have an amazing streak against the Rays at Progressive Field. They've won 17 straight games here. Just hard to believe. But the Indians are kind of right on the border of being in or out. And if they decide that they're out, Cliff Lee could be dealt. Mark DeRosa can be dealt. They might make some moves, try to reload. 2-2. Just got a piece. But in the Central, no one's running away with it, John.
No, they're not. And you sweep Tampa Bay 4 games. And manager Eric Wedge, he says he likes the personality of his ball club. They'll fight you offensively. Came back down 10-0 against Tampa and won that ball game. You can see last place in the Central, 6.5 back. And they were down 5-0 on Wednesday and came back to beat the Rays again. He said, you know, if I can get this pitching staff straightened out, they feel pretty good about things. They might be able to make a little bit of a run.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning upcoming, and the final one. As he takes something off, and Posada goes down swinging, and Cliff Lee strikes out the side. And the last 2 strikeouts, big ones, both coming to the bases loaded. 2 hits, 3 men left. Indians coming to bat. Well, the Yankees had an opportunity against Cliff Lee, bases loaded, 1 out, but Lee persevered, struck out 2 batters, the final one being Jorge Posada. Now Andy Pettitte comes on the mound and does not have a lead. His team did not score a run. Let's see how the Indians do against Andy, and the Indians starting lineup presented by BMW as Drupal Cabrera, the shortstop, leads off, batting second and DHing Grady Sizemore. Victor Martinez having another great year. He'll be at first base, he'll hit third. Cleaning up, playing third base, Johnny Peralta. Good numbers against Pettitte. Mark DeRosa in left field about 5th. Batting 6th and playing right field, Ben Francisco. Jamie Carroll is the second baseman. He's going to play bat 7th. Batting 8th and catching Kelly Shopping. And Trevor Crow, the center fielder, is going to bat 9th.
The Cleveland Indians are going to face veteran Andy Pettitte. It'll be his 10th start of the season and a nice record at 4-1. The ERA middle 4s, 33 strikeouts in 58 innings.
And Pettitte deals to Cabrera. And there was a strike.
Take a look at our Jeep pitcher scanner report. Andy Pettitte made 2 mistakes against the Phillies his last out and gave up 2 home runs in 7 innings and no decision. Speeded up. He's been a little quicker to home plate. And because of that, the running game has gotten better. Only 1 stolen base off Andy in the last 3 starts. And pitch around him, Michael, you talked about the numbers for the cleanup hitter, Johnny Peralta, 5 for 11 off of Andy. So somebody you might want to pitch around.
The 0-2 swung on and missed. Chased a high fastball, so Cabrera down on strikes. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense presented by the Home Depot. In the outfield, you've got Damon, Gardner, and Swisher. That's left to right. Infield, Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. That's third to first. Posada behind the plate. Pettitte's on the mound. Yankees had to make a move, getting Posada on the 25-man. They sent down Kevin Cash, who did have an option. Now, Melky Cabrera, his shoulder is kind of sore from running into the wall in Texas. Not on the DL. He's available to play, but he's not going to start in the series from what we hear.
Yeah, the Yankees talking maybe 5 to 7 days with Melky. He'll be able to pinch run, things like that. Keep him on the active roster.
Here's Grady Sizemore. There's a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Sizemore's not having a great season. Has a bad elbow. Affects him in the field. That's why he's DHing. And he says it doesn't affect him offensively, John, but he's hitting .223.
Yeah, .223. He does have 8 home runs and 30 RBI, so the power numbers are not bad. But when you have a sore throwing elbow and you're a Gold Glover in center field, that's got to be frustrating and disappointing for the Indians. He's going to start throwing Sunday or Monday to see how that elbow feels and try to get back in center.
One thing that's odd to me, you look at his stolen base numbers, he's 7 for 13. I mean, that's just awful. You can't steal at that rate. I'm sure his elbow's not affecting him there.
Not getting good jumps. Like you said, he's trying to be aggressive on the bases. Been thrown out 6 times.
Here's Victor Martinez, 1-0.
I mentioned in our Jeep pitchers scanner report, Andy Pettitte has kind of sped up his delivery a little bit. He's going with some more slide steps to neutralize that running game. We all know he has a great move to first base, but making some adjustments during the season when he's seen some teams be aggressive on the bases often.
Goes over with his patented move.
We talked about Kevin Cash. Surprising he had an option left.
I was shocked.
And bad news for him. I mean, he did a nice job up here. He goes back down to AAA. But good news for the Yankees. You're able to keep a veteran insurance policy at AAA. Get your all-star back behind the plate.
Pitch is high. And what a compliment to the youngster Francisco Cervelli. When they called him up, they didn't know what they were going to get. And he really proved himself. And in a chance where he's going to be a backup, they kept him and they sent down the veteran.
And it's a fine line there with the young player. I mean, you want him to get better. You want him to play. So we'll see how Joe Girardi is going to do this with Posada and Cervelli.
There's a strike.
And Jorge, we all know he wants to play. I mean, he's one of those guys, mindset every day. He's a starting catcher. He wants to be in there. Cervelli's going to give him probably a couple of days off during the week. But a fine line there in developing a young player to keep him up and sit on the bench or send him back down so he can play every day.
Now the strike. It's got to be so frustrating for Posada because before last year, he had never, ever gone on the DL. Then he misses the majority of the season with the bad shoulder, has the surgery, rehabs, really works hard, and actually gets the arm way ahead of when people thought it would be ready. And then he goes on the DL for the second time in his career with a hamstring problem.
Yeah, Jorge was talking about the shoulder today, said the shoulder feels great. He was throwing well in Florida. Hope you get those injuries out of the way early. Now you're looking at 4 more months of the season. Jorge Posada, an older catcher, so maybe a blessing in disguise if you can keep those game played numbers down.
Grabbed there by Teixeira. Takes a swipe at Sizemore, but he gets back. So Martinez hit it hard, but right at Mark Teixeira.
Well, Victor Martinez, classic inside out, trying to go the other way with 2 strikes. Nice base running from Grady Sizemore. You freeze on the line drive, able to get back. Michael, getting back to the catching situation, I mean, the Yankees, you said that Posada and Molina go down, and you go 14-8 during that stretch since Posada's been on the DL. I mean, they have to be ecstatic with where they are, but the catching situation looked pretty bleak.
Peralta pops one up. Teixeira is right there, and he'll make the play. And that's going to do it in the first inning for the Tribe. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 1 in the book. There's no score. Yankees and the Indians. Big billboard right outside Quicken Loans Arena. We are all witnesses, and the Yankees were last night. Another stupendous performance by LeBron James. And the Yankees were out in force. Jay-Z was there, sharing some love with Jabba, Mariano Rivera. You got Robinson Cano and Alex Rodriguez, and James put on a show. In the 4th quarter, he led the Cavaliers to victory, much to the delight of the Yankees. And CC Sabathia had front row seats, get some love from Mo Williams. And just an extraordinary performance as the Cavs do stay alive. The plain dealer tells how LeBron had 37, Mo Williams 24 to force a Game 6. Now, we showed a whole video montage of all the Yankees that were there. But I will let you in on a little secret as Matsui takes pitch high. Our very own John Flaherty also was big time enough to get tickets, also was witness. You were there, John.
I was there. I was not in the front row. I will say this, CC Sabathia was very generous with a lot of the Yankees. Matsui takes a strike. He had those seats that you saw on the floor, but he also had a couple of suites. He had all the coaches there. He invited myself, and I said, thank you very much. That's for you guys. But a big Yankee fan, John Connor, who was a traveling secretary for the Celtics. I had to meet him yesterday, and he invited me to go to the game.
I've had talks with John. I said, how could you live in Boston and be such a big Yankee? He said, oh, I get a lot of abuse. And he's a real Bostonite. He's not like a transplanted New Yorker.
No, he's not. And he is a big-time Yankee fan. We had a great time at the game.
Now, it's true, right? I mean, I just want to check this out before we go public. You and LeBron hung out after the game, right?
That is not true.
That's not true. Okay.
I hung out with John after the game.
How about Jay-Z? Were you with Jay-Z?
No, Jay-Z didn't give me any love like he did for Jabba there with the little hug. But that arena had so much energy in it last night. A big win for the Cavs.
The 2-2 grounded right back to Lee. Now, there is some concern, John. Tomorrow they play Game 6 in Orlando. And if that game is won by the Cavs, that forces a Game 7, which will be right over there on Monday. And here in Cleveland, I don't think there'll be anybody here in Progressive Field. The game will be about the same time.
Yeah, Monday night game, Yankees, Indians. You're right. They're fired up in this town.
Now this game, the Monday game, the Yankees and the Indians will have an hour-and-a-half head start. I don't think people are going to take the chance to come here for 5 innings and then run across the street. Nick Swisher takes a strike, but this town is electrified by LeBron James. He's a special, singular talent and a huge Yankee fan.
Huge Yankee fan.
Remember the Midge series, the playoff series? He actually sat here in Progressive Field and wore a Yankee cap and got a lot of grief for it.
I was paying attention to CC Sabathia last night. I had seats behind one of the baskets.
Right.
So I had a good view of CC. I wanted to see where his allegiance was, and he really played it right down the middle. He wasn't reacting when the Cavs scored. He wasn't reacting when the Magic scored. And he went to a lot of Magic games in spring training. So I wanted to get a little peek on who he was rooting for. He wouldn't give it up. He had a nice poker face going.
Now, one thing about CC, he was traded last year from Cleveland to Milwaukee. He loves Cleveland, and it hurt him to leave here. He just knew that this organization couldn't afford to keep him, what he was going to command on the open market. And when he was traded, John, he took out a $12,500 ad, full-page ad in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, thanking the fans, telling them how much he loved them and how much it meant to his family the way he was treated.
Well, nice gesture on his part. Well, the fans at the basketball game did not appreciate that because he was up on the video board and they gave him a nice loud boo.
Really?
Yes, they did. They booed him.
Nick Swisher does what he does best. He works out a walk. CC will pitch tomorrow. It'll be CC against Fausto Carmona. A night game. We'll have it right here on Yes. 7:05 start. 6:30 is our pregame show. CC's been pitching great of late. He didn't pitch that well against the Indians in the home opener at the new Yankee Stadium, but he gets another chance this time. Here's Brett Gardner. He's been hot of late, 12 for 31. 6 for 11 more recently, and the pitch is upstairs, and Shopik wants to talk with Cliff Lee.
It's really been the location with the fastball. Cliff Lee is not locked in. Only the second inning. Kelly Shopik trying to get him fixed on the mound.
Let's check out the American Airlines upcoming schedule. We told you about tomorrow night. 2 more games after that. Sunday at 12:40 start here on Yes. Monday, the one we talked about at 7. Then the Yankees fly home, and they'll meet the Texas Rangers. Just took 2 out of 3 in Arlington from Texas. Tuesday and Wednesday, 7 o'clock starts. Thursday is a 1 o'clock start on Yes. There's a strike. Yankees 27-20 coming into this game. Foul back. Now, after Wednesday's games, the Yankees were in first place. And that was the first time since April 16th of 2008 that they were in first place. And that's 1 year, 39 days. Now you might say, well, is that a lot? Yeah, it's a lot. It's the first time the Yankees were in first place, or not in first place, for that long a period of time, as that one is wrapped to right field. Swisher goes to third. The throw comes to second, so Gardner picks up another hit. He's now 7 for his last 12, and the Yankees runners on the corners with 1 out.
7 for his last 12, and what we've seen, he's been able to clear his hands out inside and pull the baseball. He's also been going the other way, really hitting the ball all over the field. It can be tough to defend when you have a speedy hitter like that who's spraying the ball around and is able to pull the fastball inside.
Very quickly on that streak, the span of 1 year and 39 days without owning at least a share of first place was the longest for the Yankees since a span of almost 2 years, from April 18th, 1990 to April 7th, 1992. That was 1 year, 353 days. And here's Derek Jeter. Pitch upstairs. Obviously, Gardner's a threat to run. And Jeter looks down at third base coach Rob Thompson. See if there's a hit and run on. Yankees had the bases loaded with 1 out in the first, couldn't get it done. Cano and Posada struck out. Let's see if Lee can hold them off the board again. Count 2-0.
Obviously, you want to capitalize on these situations. They weren't able to do it in the first inning. The Yankees doing a nice job making Cliff Lee work. And I talked earlier, the bullpen for the Cleveland Indians as a pitch count up to 41 is not one of their strengths. Your Yankee mindset in this ball game to work this pitch, make this pitcher work as hard as possible early in the game.
Line drive, left field, coming on DeRosa's get up the plate on a hop. Nick Swisher will score. Gardner moves to second. It's the second hit for Jeter, an RBI single, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Second inning, 2 hits for Derek Jeter. It's a little fastball right down the middle. Drives it to left field. You can see a little body language, making sure this ball gets down. It finds some grass in front of DeRosa. A little RBI base hit for Derek Jeter, 2 for 2.
Here's Johnny Damon. Good speed on the bases for the Yankees. Double steal could be in order. Peralta playing off the line at third. And there's a strike. And Jordy might want to move people around, especially with the struggles that Damon has against Lee. 1 for 18. He struck out in the first inning.
Cliff Lee is proud of his fastball. I mean, he just keeps pumping it in there and thinking about making an adjustment, maybe some more off-speed pitches. Good velocity, good life up in the zone. Johnny Damon having a tough time picking up that release point. If you're Kelly Shoppach behind the plate, getting beat up with the fastball a little bit, go to plan B. Maybe some more changeups, some more curveballs.
One and two. Upstairs, along with John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. And we appreciate you starting your weekend with us. Yankees lead 1-0 in the top of the second inning. First game of a 4-game set that will end Monday night. So a little wraparound affair. And the 2-2. Line drive, base hit to right field. Gardner did not read it well. He was heading back to second, so he can only advance to third. And the Yankees have the bases loaded.
Well, Brett Gardner had to freeze on this. He wasn't quite sure if Carroll, the second baseman, was going to be able to make the play on the line drive. And Johnny Damon, who struggled off of Cliff Lee, picks up a base hit. And you can see it's that little top spin line drive. So if you're Brett Gardner, you have to make sure he freezes a little bit. Just that little hesitation is going to make him not be able to score.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Tapped off the end of the bat. Martinez field steps on the bag. Scoring is Gardner. The other runners move up. Yankees have a 2-0 lead on the RBI ground out by Teixeira.
Mark Teixeira is going to be credited with an RBI. It's a little changeup, pulls off it a little bit, and with the speed of Brett Gardner going on contact on the ground, he's going to score easily. Victor Martinez takes the easy out at first base.
That's the 40th ribby for Teixeira. Here's Alex Rodriguez. He walked in the first inning. First base is open, and the lefty swinging Cano is on deck. It'll be interesting to see how they pitch Rodriguez here. Up and away. Is this a pitch around situation, John?
Oh, it's definitely a possibility. But, you know, what we've seen from Cliff Lee in the 22 wins last year, he's an aggressive pitcher. You know, looks like one of those guys that he doesn't want to pitch around anybody. He's going to come right at you. So if you're Alex Rodriguez, you have to get your mindset right.
Line drive and a foul ball. Went over the head of Peralta fair, but then it kept hooking and just landed foul. Mark Carlson right there.
And Alex Rodriguez, his mindset was right. He was aggressive in a 1-0 count. He just hooks it a little bit. Clearly foul. But Cliff Lee, Cy Young Award winner last year, doesn't look like he wants to shy away from any at bat. Alex Rodriguez had a good pitch to hit, just a little bit too quick.
Count 1-2.
Coming right at him. Another fastball inside.
You know what? If he gets him, John, it looks great. If he doesn't get him, you go, why did he do that? He had a lefty on deck.
Well, manager Eric Wedge, you have a lot of confidence in this left-hander after what he did last year. Your staff ace. You let him dictate the action.
1-2. Breaking ball. Strike 3. So he went at him and got him. As Rodriguez down looking. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 2 men left. The first run driven in by Derek Jeter. He's saying get down. And the ball did. He picked up a ribby. Yankees have a 2-0 lead. It's time for this moment in Yankees history, sponsored by Mercedes. Your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. Derek Jeter on May 29th of '95 made his major league debut in Seattle. 14 years ago, and then the next day, he picked up his first hit. And he was up there because of an injury and had a short, small cup of coffee, sent back down, but he was up to stay the next year. And one thing, and let's take a look at that first hit.
We never forget that first hit. Tino Martinez, first baseman for the Mariners.
Little did they know at that moment how close they would become, best friends. 2,592 hits since his big league debut, the most for any player in his first 14 years since Pete Rose. Pete Rose is the all-time hit leader. I think one of the most important things the Yankees did with Jeter that year, John, is he was sent down. Then he was called up in September. And then the Yankees had the playoff roster. And they were going to play the Mariners. And Buck Showalter insisted that Jeter stay with the team. He wasn't on the roster. He wasn't active. Posada was as a pinch runner, strangely enough. But he said, this kid's going to be important in the Yankee future. I want him to see what these big games are like.
Obviously a great move. I mean, Derek Jeter never flustered in a big spot. You're around that atmosphere year in and year out.
Well, Mark DeRosa works out a walk. And there's a strike to Ben Francisco. Bob DiBiasio is one of the longtime executives here with the Indians. He was here when they were bad in Municipal Stadium and here during all the Central Division titles. Ben Francisco grounds one softly to A-Rod, and he beats it out. So very quickly, the Indians have runners on first and second. Nobody out.
A walk and a little infield single. Francisco runs well. Alex Rodriguez coming in. And he chooses to go with the glove and then the transfer and tries to make a strong throw. It is a strong throw, but it's not going to be in time. Cleveland Indians in business here in the second with a walk and an infield single.
Anyway, Bobby D, as we call him, his old college roommate at Ohio Wesleyan University, is celebrating his 53rd birthday, and it's Jed Petrick, and he's in Mount Kisco, so he's a yes watcher. So Bobby D wanted to send out birthday wishes.
And we'll say happy birthday as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Jed. Jamie Carroll takes a strike. And since we're channeling our inner Rizzuto, I want to congratulate my niece Chelsea. 2-run home run today, 3 RBIs in a playoff game. Her team won 6-2.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty proud. Obviously, it's in the DNA, that athletic
Obviously,
stuff.
she doesn't get it from you, huh?
A bunt down the third baseline, but foul. You'll be proud to know, John, she's a catcher. Although her coach making a foolish maneuver put her at third today, where she made all the plays, but she is a catcher by trade.
I like it.
Yeah. She takes after John Flaherty.
I like the mentality behind the plate. Has a little pop in her bat.
Yeah. And she hit 360 this year.
Wow.
Yeah. She can rate.
Lefty or righty?
Righty. Yeah. We're proud of her.
I can sense that.
Yeah. So they move on in the playoffs. Yankees lead 2-0. We're in the bottom of the second inning, first and second. Jamie Carroll at the plate, nobody out. And the pitch. Grounded up against the fence in front of the Indian dugout. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. And the 0-2. Lofted into center field. Brett Gardner's right there. He'll make the play for the first out. Let's take an official look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. CC Sabathia comes back to Cleveland. Going to be a big night here in Ohio. 4-3, 3.42 against Fausto Carmona, 2-4. 6.42. Our coverage begins at 6:30 on Yes, and then game time right around 7:05. That should be a fun one, so tune in. There's Fausto. He's ready to go right now.
Well, and those numbers, they're not pretty for Carmona. I talked to Eric Wedge, the manager, about him. He said he's just not throwing the ball over the plate. His stuff is still good. He's got that good two-seamer. Walking a lot of batters. They're trying to slow his delivery down a little bit.
Here's Shoppett.
It's a frustrated manager in that Cleveland Indian dugout. I mean, I had a nice conversation with Eric. I played in the minor leagues with him. He's a great guy, a great manager. But he said, you know what, John, when they say pitching dictates this game, it's 100% true. He said our starting rotation came out of the gate slow. Our bullpen got beat up because of it. And they've been trying to catch up with the pitching staff ever since. The rotation has gotten a little better, but the bullpen's still behind.
And what sometimes the casual fan loses, John, is that everything's interconnected. And you see Eric's resume. One bad start leads into the bullpen getting burned out. Then you have to use the pitcher the next day, and it could really spiral and turn into a big problem. That's what's happened here.
That's exactly what he said. He said the rotation coming out of spring training was in good shape, but they got off to a slow start. Because of that, the bullpen had taken a beating. Now they only have 3 extra guys on the bench because they need all those relievers in the pen.
Yeah, they're carrying 8 relievers in the pen. When Wedge took over the Indians' job, he was just 35 years old. He's been here for a long time. But he was just a baby. He was younger than a lot of his players.
And playing with him with the Boston Red Sox in the minor leagues, you always knew he was going to do something, either a manager or front. I mean, great personality, great leader. They're having some tough times here in Cleveland this year.
Count 2-2. Now in the major leagues, youngest managers, Manny Acta of the Nationals, who's aging by the moment, is 40. Eric Wedge, 41 in his 6th year here. Joe Girardi, 44. Freddie Gonzalez of the Marlins and Ozzie Guillen of the White Sox, 45.
A couple ex-catchers taking over the helm as managers.
This could be 2. Jeter to Cano. On to Teixeira. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Exactly what Andy Pettitte needed. So the Indians, who just don't score for Cliff Lee, they waste a first and second, nobody out situation, and they don't score. They leave 1. We go to the 3rd. 2-0 Yanks. Hey, on Wednesday, June 10th, the Emmy Award-winning Yankeeography returns for the first of 3 new episodes this summer. It all kicks off with 80s great Dave Winfield, profiling one of the team's most feared hitters. Yankeeography Dave Winfield premieres Wednesday, June 10th at 11, only on Yes. Winnie, Hall of Famer. Uh-oh, the midges are here. Java's getting out. I am getting back to the clubhouse. Oh, who could forget that? In 2007, he was pitching out of the bullpen, pitching beautifully, and then the midges attacked. And the pitch to Robinson Cano is a strike. Well, the Modell scoreboard has the Yankees up 2-0. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. They're all over the place right now. Loop and grabbed there by Cabrera, but no play, so Cano picks up a hit. This is Jabba trying to fight off the midges, and they were all over him. The back of his neck looked like cured pastrami. It was just awful. And he lost his composure for a while.
I saw him with that can of bug spray. Actually, after the fact, they said it was probably the worst thing that he could have done. And people here in Cleveland said that made it worse. Obviously, the Yankees didn't know anything about that at the time.
Now, Joe Torre said that one of his great regrets as Yankee manager was not taking the team off the field, because the midges eventually went away. It wasn't that much longer, maybe about 30 minutes. He said he should have taken the team off the field, and that's something that he will always regret. But they are back in town, the midges. Now there's a lot of seagulls circling around the ballpark as they eat the midges. Welcome to Animal Planet.
So I guess we can't figure out the time of year. Obviously, October baseball, they showed up, and now we're here at the end of May, and they're back.
I think the reasoning they gave back then, John, was that it was such a warm October day. That's when the midges come out. And although it's not that warm right now, it's about 60 degrees. But they are all over the place, and you wonder if they're going to start attacking on the field. But you could see them in the sky. It looks almost like it's snowing here. Now that's just gluttonous. That seagull's just going nuts. Have a midge and move on, okay?
It looked like you during the rain delay.
The 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2. That was really an unnecessary cheap shot, since we both ate about the same things.
We did, but I took advantage of the opportunity and you didn't.
I didn't. I took the high road, the road less traveled. Wow, he was really going to town. And the count is full to Posada.
He was interested to see how the Yankees were going to come out here in this ball game. It'd be the 60th pitch coming up for Cliff Lee after an off day. I mean, every team has a different personality. Remember, a couple of years ago, the Yankees struggled after off days. Joe Girardi's club this year, they're coming out here having some good at-bats against Cliff Lee early in the ball game.
Posada hanging in there. I mean, when you're a batter, you're so locked in, so intense, and you need unbelievable focus, and these insects are flying right around your eyes and landing on your body. As Posada grounds one to short, knocked down there by Cabrera, and another infield single for the Yankees.
Well, Jorge's had a couple of good at-bats. He struck out in the first inning to end the first. They had a good at-bat here, hits this ball hard. Cabrera lays out for it, knocks it down, keeps it in the infield. Another base hit for the Yankees. Like I said, just having quality at-bats, making Cliff Lee work, get that pitch count up, and try to get into that bullpen as soon as you can. Looks like the midges are up at the top of the stadium, though, Michael. It didn't look like there was anything in front of Jorge Posada when he was up to bat. So it might not be too much of a problem for the hitters.
And the pitch to Matsui is a strike. Matsui grounded back to the mound in the second. He's 5 for his last 19. There are some midges circling around Hideki right now. Certainly not to the extent that Jabba had to deal with it a couple of years ago. Remember that after that season, Jabba was actually offered a lot of money to do a bug spray ad, and he just didn't feel it was the right thing to do. To make light of, that was a turning point in that series. Yankees ended up losing that series. Grounded toward first. Victor Martinez has one play. He makes it as the runners move up. Hey, it's time for the Toyota text poll. Tonight's question is, are you pleased with MLB's home run review policy and results this season? Text your vote to 58772. And it's either yes or no, so it's easy today. Yes, number 1, 2 is no. I'm sure that if Met fans are going to text tonight, they like it. I think every single review call has gone in their favor.
We had a review here yesterday in Cleveland with the Rays. There was a home run that was hit. It was down the right field line. There was a review. I think it took 90 seconds for the umpires to go back there. It was quick.
Pitch is outside to Swisher. So the Indians have the infield back. A ground ball will give the Yankees a 3-0 lead. Now Cano keeps darting down the line at third, trying to get Lee a little bit flustered, but Lee's hardly looking at him. And Peralta is playing well back.
And that's what you do if you're Robinson Cano. You get off third base, get as much room as you can with Johnny Peralta playing back.
That one's driven out to right center field. Crow will make the catch. Tagging is Cano. And Posada. Cano scores. Posada moves to third. A sac fly for Swisher. And the Yankees lead 3-0.
A nice situational hitting from Nick Swisher. He's been struggling a little bit lately. But as a walk in this ball game, a nice sacrifice fly to center field to drive in Robinson Cano. When you're going bad through a little funk, you want these type of at-bats where you don't have to get a base hit. You can just hit a ground ball up the middle or a fly ball, and you've done your job.
Here's Brett Gardner. He singled in the second, scored the Yankees' second run. And a strike.
Well, Brett Gardner won the starting center field job, kind of lost it to Melky Cabrera, who got hot. Now Brett gets another opportunity. Going to get some playing time here.
Grounded to short. Cabrera across the diamond, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get another run on 2 infield singles, no errors, and 1 man left. They go to the bottom of the third. 3-0 Bombers. Well, Sunday on Yes, don't miss an all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show and get the manager's take on the Yankees' recent hot streak. Plus, a look ahead to next week's homestand. It's an all-new Joe Girardi Show, Sunday at 4:30, only on Yes. Joe's looking forward to that show as we go to the bottom of the third inning. The shows are a lot easier to do, John, now that they're winning.
I was just thinking the same thing. I mean, you always do a great job on those shows, but I know it's a lot easier to deal with the manager when things are going well.
I give him credit, though. He was always there. Obviously, you know, that's part of his job, but he was not overly rude, or he wasn't rude at all, even when they were losing. But, you know, he's a happier guy, and the questions are a bit easier when they're winning, and they've been winning a lot lately. There's a strike to Trevor Crow, and the count 1-1. On the Modell scoreboard, Yankees lead 3-0. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Off-speed pitch for a strike. 1-2.
Andy Pettitte looking pretty good. He's got a nice velocity on the fastball. Trevor Crow, #1 pick for the Indians in 05 out of University of Arizona. But Andy Pettitte looks pretty comfortable tonight.
Andy looking for his 5th win of the year. Comes into the game 4-1. popped up. Cano backs up. And will make the play in front of Swisher for the first out. You know, we talked about how everything is interconnected. One thing goes wrong, it's like an engine. One thing goes wrong, you know, something else, a belt will blow. But the Yankee starters have been giving length, John, and that's helped obscure probably the weakest part of the team, and that's the bullpen. So you got to give credit to the starters for this run.
Oh, it's a great point. A.J. Burnett finally broke his string of not picking up a win. He got the win in Texas. CC Sabathia has been outstanding.
Ground ball and pass the diving A-Rod into left field. Base hit for Asdrubal Cabrera.
But you're right. Offensively, the Yankees are clicking. The rotation looks like it's solidified. Phil Hughes is on a pretty good run. See Cabrera out in front. Just kind of flips at it. Alex Rodriguez got a little late break. It's just out of his reach. You can see on his heels a little bit. Doesn't get the greatest first step. And Cabrera picks up a base hit. But there's still got to be question marks in that bullpen, Mike Boney. They got to figure out some roles. Who's going to be pitching late in the ball game now that Bruni's on the DL again?
Here's Grady Sizemore, single to center in the first inning.
Chien-Ming Wang through the last couple innings in Texas. Looked like he had a little better sinker, some more life. Picked up a few strikeouts. A couple balls were hit hard, but I thought that was a move in the right direction for him.
Count 0-1.
That's probably the biggest problem, is how you're going to get Chien-Ming Wang the innings, get that pitch count up, try to regain some of that velocity. How are you going to do that while he's in the bullpen? It's not going to be an easy situation.
It almost becomes a catch-22. If you keep him in the bullpen, it's hard for him to work out of those jams or that situation. And if you put him in the rotation, if he's pitching like this, then you can't keep him in the rotation. So what exactly do you do? And a lot of these problems happen to be caused by Adam Jones of the Orioles. If Adam Jones had not lined that ball off the leg of Jabba Chamberlain and limited him to 2/3 of an inning and forced the bullpen to give them 8 1/3, then they would have never called Chien-Ming Wang back halfway to the ride to Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and he would have made a longer start against Pawtucket the next night. But the Yankees needed him back at the big league level. They had to take him off the DL, put him on the 25-man. Now you can't send him down because he's out of options. So they're kind of caught betwixt and between. Andy playing catch with Teixeira.
They're paying a lot of attention to Cabrera. He has stolen 7 bases on the season, has only been thrown out once. So he is a threat to run. I mentioned it before. Jorge Posada said his shoulder's feeling great. He was throwing the ball well in Florida. Excited to get back here, see if he can throw some big league runners out.
High fly ball left field. Damon. 2 away. Here's Victor Martinez. Former Yankee manager Buck Showalter for a year was an advisor here with the Indians. And he once told me, in all of his years in baseball, Victor Martinez is one of the best leaders he's ever seen. He crosses all lines in the clubhouse. Everybody respects him, plays the game the right way. He said an incredible person.
A very talented player on the field. It's easy when you're putting up these type of numbers. 358, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs, switch hitter. But to hear that he's a total package in the clubhouse.
Last 42 games hitting .365.
Little change up there from Andy Pettit. Looked like he went to that little abbreviated motion, trying to sell that changeup. Martinez not biting.
There's a strike. What was that, John? That was 77 miles an hour. Was that a curveball?
Well, I think it looked like it was a changeup again, but he dropped his arm a little bit, so it had almost like a little cutter slider action to it across the plate, but the velocity looked like a changeup.
Don't they say that if you drop your arm on a changeup, you're going into dangerous territory?
You are. You can see it's a changeup grip, definitely. But the arm angle, his hand is on the side a little bit, and that's going to cause a little bit of a cut. You know, Andy does throw that cutter. It's been his bread and butter, and they say a lot of times the guy who throws a cutter, it's tough to throw a changeup. It looked like a cut change there.
Count 3-1. Now he's careful with Martinez, but remember the great numbers that Peralta has, and Peralta's on deck against Pettit.
Andy Pettit's got to be pretty happy with the way his season has gone. Maybe the one thing you could say, he's been giving up some home runs, which have cost him in some of his ball games. Last start against the Phillies, 2 home runs, accounted for all 4, 2 home runs, all 4 runs.
So Victor Martinez works a walk, runners on first and second, 2 outs.
Talk about Peralta. He had 23 home runs last year, 89 RBIs. He only has 1 home run and 18 RBIs to this point. Gotten off to a slow start in the power department.
Nothing Yanks, bottom of the 3rd. 1-0. Those are the numbers against Pettit. 5 for 12, 2 home runs. He also has a single, double, and a triple to round out those 5 hits.
Well, he's in a dangerous count here. That looked like a pretty good pitch on the inner half. The home plate umpire Tim Cheetah did not give Andy Pettit the call. 42 pitches, 25 strikes, 17 balls. Not the greatest ratio. Needs to make a pitch here. 2-0.
Now it's 3-0.
Got to believe Peralta, with the numbers against Andy Pettit, batting cleanup in this lineup, would have the green light if he gets a pitch to his liking.
3-0. There's a strike. 3-1. Cabrera off second, Martinez off first, the pitch. And now the bases are loaded. So a big spot for Mark DeRosa.
Take a look at the pitch by pitch to Johnny Peralta, who has good numbers against Andy Pettit. A little slider down in the zone. Goes with a cutter that he does not get the call. Back inside for a strike. It's on the 3-0 count.
Big spot for the Indians, and the pitch. Missed inside at 1-0. So Andy coasting, but then a walk to Martinez and a walk to Peralta has loaded the bases with 2 outs. Now 1-0 count to DeRosa. DeRosa hitting .266. He has power, 8 home runs. There's a strike.
Dropped a little curveball in there for a strike, and DeRosa has kind of that stance where he closes off. It looks like he's setting his sights to right center. Great numbers with the bases loaded, the 4 grand slams. But he kind of closes that front shoulder off and sets himself up to hit the ball to right center. Might be able to throw a cutter in on the hands.
Cabrera getting a huge lead at third with 2 outs. Andy doesn't want to even pay attention to him, but he certainly doesn't want to give up a stolen base at home, which is what he's done earlier this season against the Red Sox. And now he's 1 pitch away from walking in a run.
He's going with a lot of off-speed pitches. That looked like a curveball and a 2-1 count. Now the Andy Pettitte of old would just throw a cutter in on the hands here, 3-1, and take your chances. See if he plays to the big part of the field.
And he's going to get out of it. Cano the first. So Andy Pettitte makes the pitch he has to make on 3-1 to DeRosa to escape a bases-loaded jam. No runs a hit. 3 men left. 3 in the books. 3-0 Yanks. It's time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Cliff Lee won the 08 American League Cy Young Award. Who were the other 2 Indians to win that award? I think I know this one. Do you, John?
I know I don't know this one.
Oh, you think about it, you will. Oh, you will. We'll all find out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Derek Jeter digs in. Yankees lead 3-0. Jeter's been a big part of it. He's 2 for 2, an RBI single. And the pitch is low and inside.
Batting average up above 300.
Strike. You know, as you go through life and you realize how so many lives could change with one right turn by somebody here when they made a left turn, or if they decided to go straight. And as we stand here in Cleveland, it gets you to thinking the owner of the Yankees, George Steinbrenner, is from Cleveland. And right before he bought the Yankees in 1973, he put in a bid to buy the Cleveland Indians. And the family that owned the Indians knew the Steinbrenner family and did not want to sell the team to him. They didn't think it was a good investment, so they wouldn't sell the team to George Steinbrenner. The next year he put together a consortium and bought the New York Yankees in 1973 from CBS. And how would baseball history be changed if he in fact had bought the Indians and not the Yankees? Simple things like that. And the 3-2. Still 3-2. Ground ball a second, and they finally retire Jeter. Our best wishes go out to the owner of the Cleveland Indians at this point, Larry Dolan, who suffered a heart attack earlier this week. And he is resting comfortably. So everybody here at Yes sends out our best wishes to the Dolan family.
Well, Terry Francona, manager of the Red Sox, had some high blood pressure issues that he had to have some EMT personnel check him out before they left Minnesota, but it sounds like he's doing all right.
He had an argument where he was thrown out of the game, and Varitek was also thrown out of that same game. He almost fainted during that argument. People always wonder why Terry wears that windbreaker top. And he's always cold because he takes medicine for his blood pressure that thins the blood, and he feels cold all the time. So that's why he always has that on. Really one of the nicest guys in baseball is Terry Francona. There's a strike to Johnny Damon, 2-1. The 2-1, another weak hack by Damon.
And it really looks like it's the fastballs inside that Johnny's not picking up. Anything out over the plate, he had a base hit his last at bat on a fastball out over. But anything on the inner half, not having very impressive swings.
There's a ground ball to short. Cabrera to Martinez, 2 away.
Cliff Lee trying to get his first 1-2-3 inning here in the 4th. Yankees have done a nice job scoring some runs, but more importantly, just grinding out some at bats, getting that pitch count up.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Lee deals. Off-speed pitch. Teixeira with a single and an RBI groundout.
Mark hit a home run in Texas against a young left-hander, Derek Holland. He tried to bust him inside, and Mark just beat him to the spot. Right-handed, swinging the bat well. You have to think, if you're going over a scouting report now on the Yankees, this would be the guy that you would pitch around in a big spot. Cliff Lee not happy with that call. Home plate umpire Tim Cheetah. Looked like that was a good changeup for a strike. He didn't get the call.
And the 3-1. Fights it off and fouls it off. Big crowd here at Progressive Field, and that used to be the case all the time. You see the difference in the 2 months for Mark Teixeira. The difference in May for the Yankees as well. The addition of Alex Rodriguez. Lined into center field. And a nice play there by Trevor Crowe for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So finally, Cliff Lee retires the Yankees in order. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Yanks. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quitline Quiz. Cliff Lee won the 08 American League Cy Young Award. Who were the other 2 Indians to win that award? I say Colon and Sabathia. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Colon didn't win. Sabathia and Gaylord Perry.
The plate.
And there is Gaylord Perry. Colon did win the Cy Young Award, but it wasn't while he was here.
And Rose
Gaylord did it with a wet pitch.
And there's the fork ball. Having a good year too.
Big wind-up leg kick. Good fastball, too.
And the pitch to Ben Francisco. Inside 1-0. Gaylord Perry 24-16, 1.92 and 72. Sabathia 19-7, 3.21. And then Lee's numbers last year. Lee kind of came out of the blue because the previous season he had been sent down to the minor leagues. So he made the climb back and had a great season. And as I mentioned, started the final All-Star game at the old Yankee Stadium.
Went down to the minor leagues, worked at his craft a little bit, came back with a new attitude, a more aggressive attitude, throwing more strikes. You see both pitchers a little bit frustrated with the strike zone of home plate umpire Tim Cheetah. A little reaction from Andy Pettit there.
And the 3-1. Popped up. Right side. Cano out. And Swisher in, makes the catch, and something's up with Andy as both Steve Donahue and Joe Girardi on the sprint come out.
Now you wonder maybe if he landed wrong. Maybe jarred a back or something like that.
You know, looking down at the mound as if he might have landed in a hole there.
Take a look. Saw a little flinty the windup before. He lands in pretty good shape. Bends over. That'll make me think maybe tweak the back a little bit.
You think he might have just been staring down at the mound? Because he kept pointing down there, but they didn't do anything to the mound. Pitch is outside.
Well, obviously he said he's all right. Going to be able to continue.
And a strike to Jamie Carroll.
There are so many aches and pains and bumps and bruises through the course of a season. And very rarely do these guys go out there and feel 100%.
We told you that Jorge Posada back with the Yankees, first time since May 4th. This is the 163rd game that they've worked together, most for any current pair of teammates. And in those starts, Andy is 86 and 45, 41 games over 500, 4.14. So they're in the playoffs now, John. 163rd game.
Good record, good ERA.
And that's with the three of them separating for 3 years when Andy pitched for the Houston Astros. Obviously, those numbers would be much higher, the 2-2. Grounded to third. Tough hop. A-Rod stays with it. Across the diamond, and they just get Jamie Carroll.
Nice job by Alex Rodriguez making sure you keep this ball in front. A little tough hop on him, hits the heel of the glove. You keep it in front. Alex has plenty of arm strength to get Carroll by a step. When you have that arm strength, you do not panic. Keep it in front, get a good grip. Nice strong throw over to first base.
Here's Kelly Shoppett. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch. If you just joined us and you're saying, why are they in the bottom of the 4th inning? Well, there was an hour and 25-minute rain delay at the start. So first pitch didn't come until 8:30. Pitch outside. First game of a 4-game set between these two teams. Yankees 2-3 so far on this road trip. They took 2 of 3 in Arlington from Texas. Lined in the right field. It's going to be in there for a base hit. So Kelly Shoppett with a 2-out single.
Jorge Posada setting up away. It looked like it was just a fastball out over the plate. Shoppett slaps it the other way. Shoppett hit 21 home runs last year. Had a big second half for the Cleveland Indians. Andy Pettitte respects the power, pitches him away, and he just serves a base hit to right field.
Pitch inside to Trevor Crowe.
Michael, you talked about Jorge Posada and Andy Pettitte working together 163 games. Such a nice feeling when you're back behind the plate and you can think along with the pitcher where you have a track record, you have history you can go back to. So much easier to call a game when you have 163 of them under your belt.
Now, this isn't meant in a derogatory manner, but the book you get on Andy Pettitte, he doesn't want to think on the mound. He has to be in sync with his catcher. He doesn't want to be shaken off. He wants to see the sign and just throw it.
Yeah, he's a rhythm pitcher, you know, and Roger Clemens was the same way. They want to be on the same page. They don't want to be standing around. They want to dictate the action, and that's what I'm talking about with these two guys and the history that they have together. You put a curveball sign down, get ready to go.
And you throw it for a strike.
It's tough when you're catching guys in spring training for the first time. CC Sabathia, A.J. Burnett. It really takes a couple of months into a season where you get that good feeling. Like, I know how they want to work. I know how they work in a big spot. Do they get excited? You know, in a big spot, what do you have to do to calm them down?
Popped up. Alex Rodriguez in foul territory will put it away for the final out of the 4th inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 4 strong innings for Andy Pettitte. He leads 3-0.
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenz with the Dunkin' Donuts update. They've all wrapped up at Rogers Center in Toronto. Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Scott Downs gets Dustin Pedroia to fly out to right for the final out. So the Blue Jays end their 9-game losing streak with a 6-3 win. If the Yankees win, they will be in first place alone for the first time since the final day of the 2006 season.
Thank you, Bob. Well, the Yankees are almost halfway there. They lead 3-0 on the Lexus scoreboard. 3-7-0 and 0-4-0 for the Indians.
9-game losing streak for the Blue Jays that they snapped. And so Tim Wakefield was pitching that game for the Red Sox.
Now remember, during the bottom of the 4th inning, both Joe Girardi and Steve Donahue ran out when Andy Pettitte was hunched over on the mound. He stayed in, finished the inning, but Pettitte went with Donahue up to the clubhouse. We'll see if they're maybe applying heat. Don't want to play doctor from up here. We'll see if he comes back out and pitches in the 5th. Alex swings and misses. Rodriguez walked in the 1st and struck out looking in the 2nd. Count 1-1.
Cliff Lee reminds me a lot of David Wells when he was in his prime and how he likes to pitch right-handers on the inner half of the plate with the fastball. He stands on that 3rd base side of the mound. It gives him an outstanding angle to get that fastball in on the right. He's had a nice changeup there.
High pitch count here in the 5th inning. 90 pitches, 56 strikes.
And the 3rd base side gives him a nice angle.
Slow roller. Right there is Peralta and fires to 1st for the 1st out. Alex has been turning it on down the line every couple of times during this road trip, so starting to feel a little bit better, obviously, with the hip surgery.
It's a good point, Michael. It's like he's picking his spots, you know, on some of these infield singles where he might be smelling a base hit. That's good news for the Yankees, getting to that point where he can kick it into another gear. Not that he's going to steal 20 bases, but the ability to steal a base at a key point in the ball game. A good changeup from Cliff Lee. Got to respect the fastball in the inner half. Nice play from Peralta. So Brett Myers, a pitcher from the Phillies, right, having some hip problems as well.
Well, he's out for the season now. They announced that today. And almost the same thing as what Alex had. The same thing as what Carlos Delgado has. The same thing that Chase Utley and Mike Lowell had. And it makes you wonder, why is this injury so prevalent now? Why is that the new injury? Or pardon the pun, the hip injury. I've never heard of it before.
I am with you. I've never heard of it before. Labrum, I hear the labrum all the time with pitchers' shoulders, but never heard of the labrum and hips. It's the in vogue injury the end of last year into this year.
Tapped out toward 3rd, Peralta. Well, the thing that has to be heartening for the people that are getting it, everybody seems to come back from it fine. Lowell's having a good year. Utley's having a good year. Alex Rodriguez has returned in good form after missing about 8 weeks. And Carlos Delgado hopes to be back within 8 to 10 weeks as well, the Met first baseman.
Yeah, seeing Utley in the Phillies series at the stadium looked like he was really moving well, starting to steal some bases. So good news for the guys who have gone through it.
That is such a huge loss for the Phillies because the Phillies have an outstanding offense, but their pitching is somewhat suspect. Jamie Moyer has struggled mightily. Now Brett Myers, who pitched very well against the Yankees in that start at the stadium, he's gone. So the new injury, the hip injury. Pitch is a strike to Posada. Driven out to right center field and deep. Giving chase is Francisco. He can't make the play, and it bounces up against the wall. And Posada will go to second with a double. So Jorge in his first game back is 2 for 3.
Yeah, had an infield single his last at bat. He struck out his first at bat, but had really good swings. And again, it's a fastball out over the plate. These were the pitches Jorge was fouling off that first at bat. Did not foul this off. Drives it to right center field. And again, the Yankees making Cliff Lee work very hard. He's only had one 1-2-3 inning in tonight's ball game.
Here's Matsui, who's 0 for 2. Grounded back to the mound and grounded to first. There's a strike. If you're going to hit that part of the plate against Matsui, you've got a good chance. Because even when he's going well, his first move is out. His hip flies open, and it's hard for him to reach that pitch. Sometimes if he keeps his hands back, he might be able to get it, but it's a tough pitch.
Yeah, that's a key for Matsui, is keeping those hands back. That front side can fly open a little bit as long as the hands stay back.
So he goes outside and then works inside.
And you can see the reaction from Matsui. It's uncomfortable when that pitch comes in there. Make him move his feet a little bit. You open up the outside half. Hideki looked bad at the beginning of that Rangers series and finished up nicely with 2 home runs on Wednesday. Been such a streaky hitter in his Yankee career.
This will be Lee's 100th pitch of the night, and it's only the 5th inning. And number 100 is fouled back.
Hideki Matsui, home run number 6 in Texas, and then he follows it up with home run number 7 to the right center field gap. Congratulated by his teammates. Started off that series slow, but finished off on a high note with the 2 home runs.
And the count is full. Now Andy's back on the bench. Looks like he's going to come out and pitch the bottom of the 5th. And Nick Swisher waits on deck, batting 8th in this Yankee lineup that has been greatly lengthened by the addition of Jorge Posada. Strike 3, Matsui down looking and does not like the call. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We played 4.5 here at Progressive Field. We're halfway through. It's 3-0 Yanks. Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Progressive Field, and Andy Pettitte deals, and it's a bunt by Cabrera. Rodriguez smartly lets it roll, and it kicks foul. Had no chance of throwing out Cabrera.
Perfect bunt by Cabrera. They teach you that if you're going to bunt it, you want it to be right down the line, so it either goes foul or it's going to be an infield base hit, a bunt single. Heads up play by Alex Rodriguez, letting it hit the cut of the grass, and it's going to gain a little momentum and cross the line.
Cabrera's 1 for 2, and Pettitte deals. Bounces that one past Posada. On the Lexus scoreboard, it's 3-0 Yankees. Yankees have doubled the hit total of the Indians, and once again the Indians not scoring for Cliff Lee. Count 3-1. As John told you in the scouting report in the first inning, 5 losses for Lee. Indians have scored 6 runs in those 5 losses, and in those 5 losses they've been shut out twice. And Teixeira headed toward first, and the ball goes between Teixeira and Cano. A leadoff single for Cabrera.
Yeah, and you try to figure out why there are certain pitchers that don't get the run support. Cabrera did a nice piece of hitting, slapping it the other way. Having a nice year, Cabrera, but you try to figure out why there are certain pitchers that you don't score runs for. I don't know if the offense relaxes a little bit, knowing that he's not going to give up a lot. You can't put your finger on it.
Here's Grady Sizemore, 1 for 2. And a strike from Pettit.
It's one of those games for your Andy Pettit. I mean, it has not been easy. 41 strikes, 31 balls. Pitching behind in the count a little bit, but he's made the big pitch when he has had to. Got Mark DeRosa to ground out in the 3rd inning with a few men on.
Thrown just 73 pitches, so he's okay pitch count wise.
Type of game, if it works out for you at the end and you pick up a win, be proud of a ball game like this where you don't have fantastic stuff, you don't have fantastic location.
High fly ball to right field. Swisher, 1 away. Friday, June 5th, 7:05, Yankee Stadium figurine. First 18,000 fans, 21 and older, are going to receive that figurine, courtesy of Sports Authority. Tickets available at the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9949, or just go to Yankees.com. Here's Victor Martinez. Rounded left side. A-Rod does the backhand flip to get 1. They just get Cabrera at second. A-Rod with the shovel pass toward Robinson Cano.
A good pitch to Victor Martinez, rolls over a curveball. Alex Rodriguez ranging to his left, a little flip throw to Robinson Cano, not going to be able to turn 2, but really showing some pretty good range to his left.
Let's take a look at the Coors freeze cam, and we will freeze it right there, and they got him. Peralta is 0 for 1 with a walk. Pop the 3rd, and the walk in the 3rd. High fly ball, shallow center. Jeter calls off Cano and makes the play for the final out of the 5th inning. So Andy Pettit has pitched enough to get a win, but he needs some more length to the Yankee bullpen after 5, 3-0 Bombers. Hey, it's break time. Time for a fresh brewed cup of coffee. And yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. W.B. Mason, who but? Nick Swisher will lead off the 6th inning. Mick Kelleher lucky to be here. Almost a casualty in the hot dog race. First, Nick Swisher almost got clipped. I mean, a heated race here. And you can see Mick Kelleher almost an ugly situation. But he is okay. No hot dog there. Swisher takes a strike.
That has to be the most competitive race I've seen at a ballpark. Those guys were getting into it.
Yeah, it was ugly. There was nothing nice about it. It was physical. I mean, look at look at Ketchup and Onion going at it, and Mustard knocking Ketchup down. But Ketchup got right back up. That's outstanding. A little spice to that race. Soft ground ball to 3rd. Peralta has no play. So Swisher is not unnerved by almost getting run over by the hot dog, and he picks up a leadoff single.
Nick Swisher will take that. A big smile on his face. Been struggling a little bit lately. But having a nice ball game, a walk, a sacrifice fly, an RBI. We lead off the 6th inning with an infield single. That is a thing of beauty. Peralta comes in, bare hand, does not have a play. Watching Nick Swisher there. Xavier Nady swinging the bat in Tampa. Had a home run yesterday's ball game to right field. He's going to start throwing on Monday. He's close to working his way back for the Yankees.
Swisher with that hit is now 6-7 for his last 51, so he has been in quite a slide. And a bunt by Gardner. He has one play, he makes it at first, and Victor Martinez tags out Gardner, so the sacrifice successful as Swisher moves to second.
A shot by Brett Gardner, and if he would have got this past Cliff Lee, he would have had an infield bunt base hit. Nice reactions from Lee getting off. He makes the play. Joe Girardi playing a little small ball here, trying to add on against Cliff Lee. The Yankees have made him work. They've only put 3 up on the board, trying to add on some more runs here in the 6th.
.106 pitches for Lee. Here's Jeter. Low. Jeter's 2 for 3. Turned out to be a lovely night here in Cleveland. The start of the game delayed an hour and 25 minutes because of rain. Kind of washed away the humidity. Kind of a nice chill in the air. There's a strike. Most of the midges have either been eaten by seagulls or moved somewhere else. Well, those seagulls are hungry. It's like the Kobayashi of seagulls. That one is driven out to right field. Francisco will make the catch. Tagging is Swisher. The throw is well offline as Swisher moves to third. So Derek now 2 for 4 on the night. That's going to bring up Johnny Damon. Damon's 1 for 3 against Lee. And the pitch high. 1-0. Yankees lead 3-0. We're in the top of the 6th inning.
For Johnny Damon here, it looks like you're seeing the ball better on the outer half of the plate than you are in the inner half. You're ahead in the count now. Try to slice that plate in half. That was the pitch to hit right there. Pitch out over. Johnny Damon's numbers not very good against Cliff Lee. And Lee, a left-hander, is not afraid to run the fastball in on Johnny Damon's hands.
That one is slapped to left field and deep, giving chase to Rosa, and he runs it down to end the inning. So the Yankees waste the leadoff single by Swisher. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Nice running play by Mark DeRosa, and he leads off in the bottom of the inning.
This just into the WCBS
Mayor
newsroom.
Bloomberg is not.
When you need the latest news.
More than 500,000 jobs.
When you need traffic and weather together.
We have delays at least an hour.
When you need to know, we've got you covered. WCBS 880 and WCBS880.com. We are News Radio.
Time to check the results for tonight's Toyota Text Poll. Once again, the question was, are you pleased with MLB's home run review policy and results this season? You've been texting us at 58772, and after this pitch to DeRosa, we'll give you the answer. And the pitch is high. Now the answer is 85% are very pleased. 15% don't like it. John, how did you vote?
Oh, I definitely am in favor. My biggest concern was how long it was going to take to get the replay.
DeRosa lines a single to left field.
I think the umpires have done a nice job. It's kind of like they converse, they go underneath, they look, they come out, they make a quick call. I think it's been good.
I think the longest review has been 6 minutes. That's too long. But there have been reviews at about 1:30, and I think they want to keep it to about 2.5. I think if you could get it right, you know what? You take the time to get it right. Here's Ben Francisco. One and 0. Yankees are up 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's amazing. You look up and Pettit's given up 6 hits, has not allowed a run, and he's not sharp. You can see he's laboring out there. As he would say, he's grinding it. And sometimes you appreciate that more than being dominant. He has not been dominant tonight.
Really, the main thing, he's been pitching behind in the count this whole ball game. A lot of 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 counts. Like you said, Michael, at the end of the day, if it works out, you say, you know what, I was gutty tonight. I grinded this game out.
It looks like Matt Burgess. Cliff Lee has a high pitch count. And Ben Francisco walks, and Pettit is in trouble again.
It's going to be Joe Girardi, not Dave Island, the pitching coach, that's going out and having a conversation. We don't know what Andy Pettit was going through on the mound a few innings ago when Steve Donahue, the assistant trainer, came out there, but I'm sure this is checking up on anything that might have happened.
You could almost sense, John, I don't know if you got the same sense, that Girardi is saying, hey, level with me. Are you okay or not? Because I'll take you out if you're not.
Well, knowing Andy Pettit, like you and I know Andy Pettit, he's not going to say, I want out of this game. I mean, he's a competitor. A 3-0 lead here in the 6th inning. If you're Joe Girardi, the manager, you have to kind of read between what Andy's saying and recognize body language more than anything else. Keep his veteran lefty in.
Pitch to Jamie Carroll's outside. I've always wondered why managers ask pitchers, because you know what, John, if a pitcher's worth his weight in salt, he's not going to say take me out. He's just not.
Can honestly say I cannot remember a pitcher who said, you know what, yeah, I'm tired or I'm done, take me out of there. They're all competitors. They want to stay in.
I mean, the people they should ask, and Aceves begins to throw, are the catchers. And I think that puts the catchers in a terrible spot, because you want to have a good relationship with the pitcher, but you got to tell the truth.
It's one of those situations, Michael, and you see Steve Donahue, the assistant trainer, coming out again. It's one of those situations, if you're a catcher, you would never verbalize, yeah, he's done, get him out of here. You would give your manager a little look that he would get the message and then make the decision.
And you can see Andy's trying to talk Joe out of this. Joe keeps barking and like shaking his head, and Andy's saying he's okay. And he's going to take the ball. He doesn't want to hear it anymore. So Andy Pettit will depart with a 3-0 lead. He leaves runners on first and second, and a 2-0 count on Jamie Carroll. So Andy will have to hope that the Yankee bullpen does the job. Aceves will come in. We'll be right back. Well, Andy Pettit has turned into a spectator now, as the Yankee bullpen will try to keep it here at 3-0 Yankees, as Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. Well, Aceves is going to have as much time as he needs. He was starting to throw in the bullpen anyway. But you can see Andy is not pleased. Earlier in the game, Girardi and Donahue ran out, and he looked like he was pointing to the mound, but obviously there was something up. Then he went back up into the Yankee clubhouse with Donahue between the 4th and 5th innings. Pitched the scoreless 5th, but here's when we first noticed something was up. A pop-up, and Andy went with his hands down to his knees, which would indicate something's wrong with his back. Donahue comes out, and Andy says he's okay. Talks him into letting him stay in. But now, a single by DeRosa, a walk to Francisco, a 2-0 count on Carroll, and Andy is out of the game after throwing 84 pitches. You see the 4 walks. That's not indicative of Andy Pettitte. And he was behind on a lot of counts, John. Even guys that he ended up getting out.
Yeah, he had to work. I mean, obviously, we can't speculate on injuries up here. It looked like he might have had a little back issue. Gave Joe Girardi everything he had. And Alfredo Aceves comes on. It'll be his 9th game of the year. The good record, the impressive ERA.
Well, he inherits a 2-0 count on Jamie Carroll. And now it's 3-0. So the Indians, who have won 4 in a row and had 2 come from behind victories against the Tampa Bay Rays, looking to pull the same act here against the Yankees. They overcame 10-0 and 5-0 deficits against the Rays. So 3-0 doesn't seem that tough a task for them, as Aceves deals a strike to Carroll.
Manager Eric Wedge said he's proud of the personality of his ball club. They play 9 hard innings. They get behind, they don't give up, they grind at bats out, and in that situation again here tonight.
And the bases are loaded with that walk. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, the one thing Joe Girardi likes about Aceves, he comes in, throws a lot of strikes. Obviously a tough situation there, coming in with a 2-0 count. You start thinking game management here. If you're Aceves, you'll give up a sacrifice fly, trade an out for a run, and then you go to work after that, maybe trying to pick up a double play. Big key getting ahead in this at bat.
There's Kelly Shoppach, 1 for 2. Strike by Aceves.
Kelly Shoppach just did a favor for Aceves and Posada right there. The numbers with the bases loaded, not great. He has good power. I talked about the 21 home runs last year. He was taken all the way in that first pitch fastball.
And now 1-1. And the pitch. 1-2.
I mentioned before, you think about game management. I'll give up a sac fly, exchange an out for a run. Now you get greedy. It's a changeup, middle of the plate. Shoppach swings right over the top. Now you're ahead in the count, 1-2. Get greedy. Start going for that strikeout. And then you can start thinking about getting out of this inning without any runs scoring.
Count 2-2. DeRosa, Francisco, Carroll. Bases loaded, nobody out. We're in the 6th. Yankees up 3-0. Aceves on a relief of Pettitte. The 2-2. Strike 3. Shoppach down looking, and he barks at home plate umpire Tim Cheetah. A big out for Aceves.
A big strikeout. Changeup was a key pitch during the at-bat. A first pitch fastball for a strike. Shoppach taking all the way. Misses with another fastball. Then comes back with an outstanding changeup. Swings over the top. Another changeup he takes. And then he finishes him with the big curveball. I don't know what Shoppach was complaining about. It looked like it was right there. Jorge Posada catches it on the center of his body. Shoppach not happy with the call.
Now Dave Island will go out and talk with Aceves as Eric Wedge goes to his bench. It'll be Shin Soo Choo Strong left-handed batter against the righty Aceves.
They're going over scouting reports here, talking about his strength, his weaknesses. Having a nice year, 289 with 6 home runs. Now you can start thinking about getting greedy here, Michael. I mean, one pitch, you get 2 outs on a double play ball. Be a huge lift for the Yankees. Love that changeup in this situation. He showed some good ones to Shopik. You prey on Chu's aggressiveness here as a pinch hitter going up there trying to look for a fastball in that first pitch. And first pitch changeup might be a double play you're looking for.
Well, with the fastball, blew it right by him, matched the number on his back, 91 miles an hour.
That's a gutsy pitch. A lot of these pinch hitters coming up, you're looking for a fastball first pitch. He got it, and he swung right underneath it. It's a gutsy pitch from Aceves.
Count 1-1. High fly ball, left field. That'll get in a run. The catch is made by Damon. Here comes DeRosa. Throw cut off by Jeter. It's a sac fly by Chu. Indians on the board. Yankees lead is now 3-1.
It's not the worst thing in the world right there. You're just trying to stay away from a big inning. The run will be charged to Andy Pettit. In this situation, you just want to trade outs. Trade an out for a run. You're just trying to stay away from the big inning.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. He was 2 for 3 against Pettit. And the pitch. Proud of his fastball tonight, throwing it a lot, 1-0.
You know what you like about Aceves, though, when you watch him and you look in his eyes right there, there is no fear from this guy coming out of the bullpen. I think that's what Joe Girardi loves. He challenges hitters.
Popped up, left side. Alex Rodriguez will give it a look, give it a lean, but it's on top of the Indian dugout.
You ask big league managers with their bullpen guys, they just want to know what they're going to get every day. Just come in and throw strikes. Give me what you have. You hate to see the bullpen guys who come in and nibble around the plate.
Well, Joe's going to have the bullpen working for him today because he's going to need to get 12 outs out of the bullpen. So far, he's got 2 of the 12. Andy went 5+. Fouled away. 1-2.
Cabrera had a couple of hits against Andy Pettit, hitting right-handed. He's a better left-handed hitter, 353 coming into this at bat.
And the pitch. Grounded softly to short. Jeter's going to go across the diamond. And what a scoop on the backhand by Mark Teixeira, saving an error for Jeter and also cutting the inning short. Jeter thought about going to second. Cano wasn't there. And then kind of yanked the throw. And what a backhanded scoop, keeping his toe on the bag. It's 3-1 Yanks. Well, visit the official online shop of the New York Yankees at Yankees.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and T-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Yankees.com shop. Here's Mark Teixeira. Pitch outside. Hey, Mark Teixeira made a very, very strong statement, and it was in the papers today that he said that Joe Girardi is the greatest manager that he has ever played for. Now, some guys might take that the wrong way. He's played for Bobby Cox, Mike Scioscia, who many would put at the top of the managerial list in terms of managerial acumen. He's played for Buck Showalter. So he's had a lot of good managers. He says Girardi is the best one. Nice to have one of the stars on your side.
Very nice.
Tapped right back to the mound. And Hergis throws out to Teixeira, one away. Matt Hergis, the new Indian pitcher.
Veteran Matt Hergis started the season at AAA. Just got called up at the beginning of May. Only 5 hits in 13 innings, 3 walks, 14 strikeouts. Don't you think a lot of that, Michael, would be personality between the player and the manager? They just kind of hit it off. I would think at this point we're 2 months into the season with the spring training for Mark Teixeira, and obviously they have a good relationship with those strong words.
Alex Rodriguez slaps a single to center field. His first base hit of the night. Well, earlier in the year, John, Nick Swisher said that Girardi's the best manager he ever played for, and that kind of angered Ozzie Guillen, last year's manager at the White Sox.
Nice swing by Alex Rodriguez. Good extension. Well, Nick Swisher it wasn't exactly his best year in Chicago. Ended up, was he leading off for a little while? Ozzie Guillen batted him lead off, so not the best situation for Nick in Chicago.
So Joe has 2 of his 25-man roster. You think he's the best manager they've ever seen? Here's Robinson Cano. There's a strike. You know, it's all subjective, though, because you could be a terrible manager, and as we said, if somebody feels they're treated better than they've ever been treated, they're going to think you're great. I'm not saying that's the case with Joe, but some might say you're a good manager, some might say you're not a good manager. It's whatever floats your boat. Different horses for different courses. Fouled away.
You know what also, too, Michael, I mean, if you're playing well or hitting well, I mean, Nick Swisher got off to that great start. He loves everything about being a Yankee. So he's going to love the manager. Mark Teixeira has had an incredible month of May. He comes out with those statements today in the paper. I mean, happy with your situation, happy with the manager. Life is good.
Who's the best manager you ever played for?
Wow, you're going to put me on the spot like that.
Why not?
You know what? I really enjoyed playing for all of them. That's the easy line out. But there are different points in your career playing for different people. I mean, playing for Joe Torre as a backup was a great experience because he treated me with respect like anybody else on that team. I played for Bruce Bochy. I played for Sparky Anderson. Enjoyed those guys. Butch Hobson and I probably wasn't my favorite. I think the personalities worked real well.
I think next year you have to sign up for Dancing with the Stars because you just tap dance around that. It was great. You never gave me an answer, but I felt like you did. You know, I felt like I just ate a full meal.
If you read between the lines, you can actually figure out what I felt about some of these managers.
Well, we know you didn't like Butch Hobson. That's what I got out of it. High fly ball, right center. And Francisco makes the catch. Francisco moved from right to center, and Chu takes over in right. And here is Posada, his first day off the DL, and he's contributed. He's caught behind the plate, and he is 2 for 3. Pitch outside, 1-0.
Watching Alex Rodriguez take his lead over at first base. This is the first time I can recall this year since he's been back. He's actually leaning a little bit like he's trying to size up Hergis, and that'll tell you that that hip is feeling better if he's starting to think about stealing some bases.
Well, the doctors told him that his hip is going to feel stronger every month that he's active. So he probably feels, you know what, now it's a month. I can do a little bit more, and by July, I'm going to be even stronger. And he's been impressive so far, kind of taking baby steps. Count 3-0 on Posada. And Matsui's on deck. And a strike.
Watching Hergis pitch here, he's not an overpowering guy. The fastball, the upper 80s. I think he's got a decent changeup. Got Robinson Cano to fly out on the changeup. Be surprised if Jorge Posada gets a good pitch to lean on here.
And the 3-1. And Posada works a walk. His good night continues. Posada 2 for 3. One of them was a double. Let's take a look now at the Land Rover drive of the game.
Well, 2 outs in the 5th inning. Jorge Posada drives one to right center. Out of the reach of Francisco. It was a 2-out double for Jorge Posada, your Land Rover drive of the game.
Shopik meets up with Hergis on the mound. And that'll bring up Matsui. Matsui 0 for 3. Yankees tonight have not done the job with runners in scoring position, and that's what they've done for most of May. They've hit very well with runners in scoring position, but tonight 2 for 11. And he turns over on the pitch and grounds it to Martinez, so Matsui is 0 for 4. And the Yankees do not score. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. The end of 6½. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Butch Hobson on the phone for John Flaherty.
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenz with the Tri-State Ford update. It came down to the wire between the Marlins and Mets tonight. Bottom of the 11th, tied at 1. Runners at the corners. And Omir Santos, the base hit the left off Brian Sanchez. Gary Sheffield scores the game-winning run as the Mets win it 2-1 in 11. So they're a half game up on the Phillies in the National League East. Meantime, American League East scoreboard. The Blue Jays beat the Red Sox. O's beating the Tigers, and the Rays top the Twins. That Red Sox loss opens the door for the Yankees to take sole possession of first in the division.
Well, thank you, Bob. Here at Progressive Field, the Yankees lead at 3-1, 3-10-0, and the Indians won 6-0. Alfredo Aceves came on to get out of a jam that Andy Pettitte got into in the 6th. Allowed 1 run to score. Now Grady Sizemore leads off in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the pitch. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Brett Gardner is there, and there's 1 away. So 1 pitch and 1 out. Hey, after the final out of this opener against the Indians, you have to keep it here on Yes for the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones are ready to bring you a complete recap of this first game in Cleveland, plus a look around the rest of the majors. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's after the final out. That's what the postgame usually is, and it's only on Yes. Here's Victor Martinez. And there's a strike. Well, they've announced the crowd here at the place they call the Prague, 32,802. And as I was saying earlier, you never used to see empty seats here at what was once Jacobs Field. Indians had a great team, and they had sold out 455 straight games. So that's over 5.5 years of baseball where there was not an empty seat here at this ballpark. And that record has been broken at Fenway Park, which is a smaller capacity than here at what was once the Jake. Pitch is high. Those are great teams. I mean, the players that came through here, Manny Ramirez, Roberto Alomar, Jim Tomei, Sandy Alomar Jr., Omar Vizquel, Martinez pops it up, Albert Bell, Derek Jeter makes the catch, 2 away. David Justice part of the team.
Kenny Lofton.
What a team. That was some team. And they came within 1 inning of winning the World Series. They had Jose Mesa on the mound. It was against the Marlins, and they couldn't get it done. Mike Hargrove was the manager.
Yeah, I was actually lucky enough to make it to the big leagues in 1992 and played in the old Municipal Stadium. Is that right?
It was called Municipal, sometimes Cleveland Stadium. A lot of people call it the mistake by the league.
But in 92, that's when you could see all the pieces starting to come together. I mean, Kenny Lofton, I think it was his 2nd year here, and they were really at a young, exciting team. And then when they moved into this new ballpark, they hit it perfectly.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned Carlos Baerga. Right back to Aceves. He's doing some job. He's done some job all year. And he retires the Indians in order 1, 2, 3. We go to the 8th at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Yankees lead 3-1. Well, fans, tonight and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the 2 of us here in the booth for the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Andy Pettitte, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 3, Jorge Posada, number 4, Alfredo Aceves. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Speaking of Pettitte, we're told that he left the game with lower back stiffness. And Kim Jones will find out more about that when she goes into the clubhouse after the game on the WB Mason postgame show. 3-1 Yankees lead, top of the 8th. Swisher, Gardner, and Jeter. 8, 9, and 1. Burgess, 2nd inning of work. Misses outside, 2-0. The Indians carry 8 pitchers in their bullpen. So they're carrying 13 pitchers and only 3 position players on the bench.
Only 2 now. That's Shin Soo Choo. Pinch hit.
There's a strike. They have 7 righties and just 1 lefty. They just called up the lefty, Rafael Perez. And there he is.
We're talking to Eric Wedge, the manager of the Indians today. He said, you know what, I manage these games against the Yankees like they're 8-inning affairs because they have the lead with Mariano Rivera. He said, I'm going to use all my moves in the first 8 innings because I'm not going to wait until he comes in the ballgame.
He's got 1 more inning of moves then.
Yep.
Bottom of the 8th.
But he did say he's not going to be afraid to pinch hit a right-hander against Mariano if the situation comes up. He's got Ryan Garco on the bench who has some power. Obviously looking a couple innings ahead.
Wind starting to whip up here at Progressive Field. Blowing straight in. Served out toward 3rd. Peralta. 1 away. Hey, tomorrow night on Yes, the Yankees continue the series with Game 2 against the Indians, 2 of 4. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then John Flaherty and I have the call right here at Progressive Field. It's the Yankees and the Indians tomorrow night, starting at 6:30. It's only on Yes. And remember to tune in because CC Sabathia will get the start for the Yankees against his former team, against Fausto Carmona. CC played the host yesterday at Quicken Loans Arena. About 15 of the Yankees traveling party were at that game between the Cavs and the Magic. Count 0-1. Gardner 1 for 2 today with a sac bunt. Also scored a run. That time he was bunting for a hit, but took a pitch low.
Such a nice situation for Joe Girardi. Melky Cabrera goes down for maybe 5 days, 5 more days. Brett Gardner steps in, gets 3 hits the other night when he took over for Melky. These young kids getting opportunities, taking advantage of them. They say competition's good on a ball club. Got guys fighting for playing time.
And I think that infusion of youth, that energy, has helped the Yankees, because the injuries that they had really could have sunk the season, but the youngsters really picked up the play. They always say the worst thing is that when you play your depth, because then you realize why the depth is on the bench. But the people that are on the bench for the Yankees and were in the minor leagues, they stepped up. Francisco Cervelli, Melky Cabrera, Ramiro Pena. Guys really did the job. The 2-2 to Gardner. Nice scoop there by Shoppett.
You're right, Michael. You look forward to the end of the season, and the Yankees obviously hoping that they're going to be in a playoff hunt down at the end. But you can look back to that time in the middle of May, early to the middle of May, where they held down the fort with some pretty serious injuries and some young players doing a nice job.
Popped up, shallow center, coming on Francisco, and he makes the play for the second out. And that's going to bring up Derek Jeter. Derek is 2 for 4. Three-1 Yankees lead. And the pitch low, 1-0. Well, John told you in his scouting report that Cliff Lee has not had much run support in his starts. That's why you have a 3.04 ERA and you're 2-5. And John has been right on the money with that report, because again, they have not scored for Lee. He could be staring 2-6 in the face with a pretty good ERA if his team doesn't rally.
Just the one concern for the Yankees is that the Indians have shown on this homestand that they can come back, and come back from some pretty wide margins. 10-0 to the Rays, 5-0 to the Rays, came back and won both of those ball games. But you don't get that same feeling tonight from this Cleveland Indian team.
That one is chopped towards short as Drupal Cabrera gets Jeter for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Hergis and the Indians. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees are leading 3-1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Progressive Field. Yankees holding on to a 3-1 lead. And Aceves breaks off a breaking ball, and DeRosa flinches, 1-0. Aceves in his 3rd inning of work. Got all 3 outs in the 6th, a 1-2-3 7th, now the 8th. Grounded foul. Time to take a look at the play of the game, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Well, the Geico play of the game finished off the 6th inning. A ground ball to Derek Jeter. He throws flat-footed, throws wide, but Mark Teixeira, the nice backhand, kept his foot on the base for your Geico play of the game.
DeRosa fouled that one back in the count. 1-2.
Alfredo Aceves, you have 4 right-handed batters in a row here.
Tries to tie him up, just missed one, and now 2-2.
Figure he'd get the opportunity to get all of those righties, and then Chu, the left-hander, will finish it up. Phil Koch might be available for him.
Phil Koch getting ready. Did he go? Yes, he did, said the first base umpire, Bob Davidson. And DeRosa down on strikes, 1 away.
If you watch the way Alfredo Aceves handles himself out on the mound, you think he's got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It's upper 80s, low 90s. DeRosa can't hold up. It's up in the zone. First base umpire Bob Davidson makes the call, but he carries himself out on the mound like he's a power pitcher. Very confident in his stuff, especially his fastball.
Francisco takes a slider strike on the outside corner. And the count now 0-2.
It's a good fastball. It's not overpowering, but the way he establishes he can throw strikes with it, confident in his demeanor.
You know, we talked earlier about how all games are interconnected, woven together. Well, this one affects tomorrow's game because now Alfredo Aceves is out of the mix. He's pitched 3 innings tonight. And that one goes over the head of Francisco, so he's not going to pitch tomorrow. He's not going to be able to. So this game, you win it. Let's say you win. Well, it affects tomorrow's game.
Curveball gets away from him, and you look forward to CC Sabathia. He's been going deep into the ball games for the Yankees, saving the bullpen. But, you know, you watch Aceves pitch, and obviously he's got the heart to pitch late in ball games the way he carries himself. And you wonder if maybe they'll shorten his role a little bit to that 8th inning guy, his 7th, 8th inning. Seen him throw multiple innings on occasions, but he's proven he can pitch late in ball games.
I've always wondered, though, about him. He's so effective in this role, and he was effective last year at the end of the year as a starter. Is his stuff electric enough to pitch the 8th inning?
I don't think his stuff is electric enough, but obviously you can tell by the way I talk about him. He believes his stuff is better than it actually is, and that's half the battle for a bullpen guy coming into a game late. You have to believe your stuff is good enough. You have to be able to challenge people, not be afraid of contact.
Because I look at some of the great 8th inning guys like Ryan Madsen, Scott Shields. Those guys have electric stuff that can strike out. And, you know, you like to see that in the 8th inning. But Aceves does get results. Not there, though, as Francisco lines a single to left field.
You know what, Michael, the combination of electric stuff and the belief and the confidence and the ability to challenge people, that's your ultimate 8th inning guy. But you can get away with just the belief that your stuff is good enough. A 3-2 curveball, wanted to throw for a strike. Francisco takes care of it. But I think of guys like Eddie Guardado, who never had great stuff, but I watched him pitch in Texas. He's throwing 87 miles an hour, has a clean 1-2-3 inning because he believes his stuff is good enough, and he challenges people.
Here's Jamie Carroll with a runner on first. 1 man out. Yankees are up 3-1. Each team has not been productive tonight. The Yankees have left 10 runners on base over 8 innings. Have not gotten the big hit. And the Indians have left 9 runners on base. The Yankee runs, they scored 2 in the second. 1 on an RBI single by Jeter, 1 on an RBI ground out by Teixeira. And then a sac fly by Swisher in the third. That's their scoring. And the Indians, their run came in the 6th inning on a sac fly off the bat of a pinch hitter, Shin-Soo Choo. And that's the scoring. So there haven't been loud outbursts here between the Yankees and the Indians on this Friday night. Foul back, 1-2.
Ben Francisco at first base has 7 stolen bases, has only been thrown out once. This situation, down by 2 runs in the 8th inning. If you are going to steal, you better be sure you can get there.
Carroll was the first man that Aceves faced. He took over a 2-0 count from Andy Pettit and walked Carroll to load the bases in the 6th. Best opportunity for the Indians, but Kelly Shoppach struck out looking. The sac fly by Chu, and then Cabrera's ground ball to Jeter. All things considered, 1 run. Bases loaded, nobody out, not too bad. Runner goes, 1-2, foul back.
Francisco had an outstanding jump. He would have been safe easily. And Carroll in defense mode. Fouls off that tough pitch. You saw Carroll choking up on the bat. I haven't seen a guy choke up that much in a long time, but here in a 1-2 count in the 8th inning, just trying to slap a base hit, trying to put this ball in play behind in the count.
Runner goes again. Breaking ball, strike 3. No throw as Francisco steals second.
Yeah, Francisco had to save his sized up pretty much that hole at bat. He had 2 outstanding back-to-back jumps. Jorge Posada, smart decision. There was not a play there. Good curveball from Aceves to pick up the second out.
Tells you something about Posada there too, John, and you could appreciate this. He knew the runner was going, and he knows if he throws a curveball, he has no chance, and he's still called for it.
That's right, and you know, it's a smart play not throwing. We've seen Jorge before where he'll rush a throw and maybe throw it into center field. Right now you got a 2-run lead. You worry about Shoppach, who does have some pop at the plate.
And the count 1-0. Chu is on deck. If it gets to Chu, probably see Coke. And Coke is ready. There's a ground ball to third. A-Rod gobbles it up. And Shoppach is out, and what a job by Alfredo Aceves. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. 8 innings in the books, and the Yankees are leading this one 3-1. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. By Firestone, a tradition of innovation. And by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Turned out to be a lovely night here in Cleveland. Just enough of a brisk chill in the air. Not too hot, not too cold, just perfect. Yankees are pretty happy over the first 8 innings as they lead this one 3-1. Andy Pettit went 5+, left with stiffness in his lower back. Alfredo Aceves has given them 3 shutout innings, and now Rafael Perez will try to hold the Yankees at 3-1 as he pitches the top of the 9th inning.
Well, shocking to see numbers there. 19 hits in 10 innings. 9 walks, only 5 strikeouts. This is one of the best left-handers in the league last couple of years. Got off to a terrible start, went down to AAA, got things figured out, and was recalled today.
And the pitch to Damon is a strike.
Went down to AAA, did not give up a run in 9 innings, gave up 9 hits, a couple of walks, 9 strikeouts, so got himself figured out. See if he can salvage the rest of his season here in Cleveland.
Count quickly 0-2. So Lee started, went 6. Hergis with 2 shutout innings. And Mariano Rivera is getting ready. One thing that we should note, John, there's still an inning to go, but the Yankees again with a error-free game, a very clean defensive game. They've had 14 in a row, and that's a team record. As Damon is out, 1 away.
I think the starting rotation really getting itself straightened out leads to better defense. You keep your infielders in the game. thank Mark Teixeira for a lot of those errorless games, saving a lot of those throws over to first base.
He saved an error by Jeter. That was our play of the game. Here's Teixeira. You know, John, I don't know about you, but I can't wait for June 27th. Look right above Mark Teixeira's head.
Free
giving
money?
away free money on June 27th. Just giving it away. I will be back in Cleveland on June 27th. There's a strike. And the strange thing, John, doesn't seem as if there's any strings attached. It's just free money on June 27th.
It's all about the money, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much?
Yeah. That's really not true, John. I just want to be happy. But money makes me happy. Here's the 1-1. Popped up down the right field line, and it is a foul ball, just foul.
I was just thinking when that ball was in the air, boy, Mark Teixeira is really living right now. Had a broken bat base hit in this ball game. If that one would have fell into fair territory, it's an outstanding night. You don't hit a ball hard, you get a couple of hits.
This is Teixeira's fourth at bat, right-handed. He batted left-handed in the seventh, grounded back to the mound against Herges. High fly ball down the left field line, but that'll make the seats. Well, foul.
Well, hitting right-handed has been Mark's strong side. 380 coming into this ball game.
After the final out, you know the deal. It's the WB Mason postgame show here on Yes. Bob Lorenz is the host, and Kimberly Jones will work the clubhouse. They're both ready to bring you a complete recap of this first game against the Indians in Cleveland, plus a look around the rest of the major leagues. It's the WB Mason postgame after the final out, and it's only on Yes. And the 1-2. Grounded to third. Peralta. And there's two away. Alex has been throughout the night serenaded by a chorus of boos from this crowd here in Cleveland. 1 for 3 so far tonight, with a walk in the first inning. Count 1-0. We're in the top of the ninth. And A-Rod has worked the count 2-0.
Perez trying to pound Alex Rodriguez inside off the plate.
And that's why it's so important to have the guy that hits behind Alex be a threat. Because you don't have to make great pitches to Alex Rodriguez here. Because Robinson Cano is a lefty against a lefty. Now, that doesn't shut him down completely, but it neutralizes him somewhat. And they go after A-Rod, and he pops it up. Jamie Carroll drifts back, makes the play, and Rafael Perez has a good 1-2-3 inning as the Yankees go down in order. Last licks coming up for the Indians, and they'll do it against that man, Mariano Rivera. It's time to announce the Chevy Player of the Game as voted on by you, the fans, and the two of us here in the booth.
Well, I know I voted for him, Michael. Alfredo Aceves, 3 quality innings, shutdown innings for the New York Yankees of relief. Alfredo Aceves is your Chevrolet Player of the Game.
A lot of reason to smile. He has really pitched well this year. So he turns it over to Mariano Rivera. That's what a manager tries to do. He wants to get a lead to his closer in the 9th inning. That's exactly what Joe Girardi has maneuvered. And he turns it over to Rivera, who has 9 saves this year. He's allowed 20 hits in just under 20 innings, 24 strikeouts, and just 1 walk. And I believe that walk was to Felix P.A. of the Baltimore Orioles. So he's going to face 9-1-2 in the Indians' order to try to close down this 3-1 victory.
Hasn't pitched in a while. He pitched Sunday in the loss against the Philadelphia Phillies. Did not pitch in that Texas Rangers series, so he's well rested.
And they're looking for the rally midges here. It's going to be Shin-Soo Choo leading off against Rivera. And the pitch to Choo is a strike. Alex Rodriguez on the lip of the grass at third. Right side of the infield deep. And Choo gets moved off the plate. 1-1.
Mariano Rivera is going to get, it looks like, 4 left-handed hitters in a row. Choo, Cabrera is a switch. Sizemore is left. Martinez is a switch.
Count 2-1. Now, if you haven't pitched in a while, as John just told you about Mariano, the thing that does get affected is the command, his ability to control the pitch. The 2-1. Looped into left field. That is going to be a base hit. So Choo with a single, and that brings a tying run up to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
That's a good pitch. Choo just did a nice job not trying to pull it. He just stays inside and slaps it the other way. It's the only way a lefty can really try to approach Mariano Rivera. And don't try to pull it. A lot easier to say than to do. Good start for the Indians in the 9th.
Teixeira holds Choo on at first. Here's Cabrera. Cutter catches the inside corner for a strike. Fights it off and fouls it off.
Mariano looks like he has pretty good stuff. Nice little cutter, good action on it. And Cabrera, just like Choo, it looks like he's trying to stay inside and just slap it the other way.
And the 0-2. He blew it right by him. Cabrera down on strikes, 1 away.
Nice finish pitch from Mariano Rivera. You go up the ladder, you get ahead. First pitch cutter. Then you throw another one in on the hands. He tries to slap, and then you go up in the zone for the strikeout. Nice sequence.
Here's Sizemore. Grady is 1 for 4 tonight. That single in the first inning. Cutter's moving now. And the count 0-1.
Yeah, Sizemore and Martinez, the two guys with power here. Sizemore 8 home runs, but he does not have a hit against Mariano Rivera. 0 for 6. And that swing that he took, that first pitch, you're not going to be able to hit Mariano with a big swing like that. You have to shorten up a little bit.
One ball, one strike, one out, one runner on. Yankees up by 2, bottom of the 9th inning. Trying to take the first game of this 4-game set. And the pitch. Another big cut, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, he's got one thing on his mind, and that's tying this ball game up, but it's a real big swing. Tough to center a Mariano Rivera cutter with a big swing like that.
He's got 8 home runs. A home run would tie it, as John said. And the 1-2. 2-2.
4 consecutive pitches on the inner half from Mariano Rivera. See if he decides to go on the outside corner and freeze him with a backdoor cutter, but the swing Sizemore that he's taking, probably want to keep the ball in his hands. They're going to go backdoor.
Fouled off in front of the plate. And the dangerous Victor Martinez is on deck. Mariano doesn't throw many double play balls, and this is a tough guy to double up. So you're going to have to earn this save trying to get out Martinez. Swing and a miss. He got him. Big strikeout of Sizemore. 3 big, healthy cuts, and that's 2 away.
He didn't shorten up his swing at all this whole at bat. He had one thing on his mind, and that was to tie this ball game up. The pitch by pitch. Big swing for strike 1. And he starts going to work with some nice cutters in off the plate. Another big swing to get to 2 strikes. Another cutter down and in. Then he tries to backdoor, freeze him for a strikeout, fouls it off, then finishes him off with another cutter inside. That's a healthy swing.
Almost lost his footing. Here's Victor Martinez, another man with power, 7 home runs and a .354 average. They are not holding on. Chu at first. Runner goes. And that one's chopped foul.
Situation here, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada. You're just thinking about calling pitches to make sure that the ball stays in the yard. Jorge Posada, I think they just saw Victor Martinez cheat a little bit for that ball inside. It's probably what Jorge is talking to him about. If you're Mariano Rivera, that doesn't mean you can't throw the ball in. Throw it in off the plate and see if you can get Martinez to keep swinging. 2 for 8 in his career. If you're Mariano, the worst thing you can do is try to throw a backdoor cutter and leave it middle of the plate. If you make your mistakes, make it in off the plate.
Runner goes again, and he goes outside for a ball. Chu takes second on defensive indifference. That run means nothing. The run at the plate means everything. That's the tying run. Yankees are up 3-1. And the 1-1. Grounded to first. This will do it. Teixeira takes it himself, steps on the bag, and the Yankees win this one 3-1. Posada's first game back is a victory. The Yankees now go 8 games over 500. And Rivera picks up the save, and the Yankees have just set a record Rivera picks up the 58th save of a game that Andy Pettitte won. And that breaks the record set by Dennis Eckersley and Bob Welch. And Dennis Eckersley is actually in the ballpark today preparing for a broadcast on Sunday. So Mariano, the combination of Mariano and Pettitte, now move ahead of the Hall of Famer Eckersley and Bob Welch. But more importantly for the Yankees, they win this one 3-1. Pettitte with the win, and the Yankees now a season high 8 games over 500. And so far on this road trip, they are 3 out of 4. So Posada's happened to be back, first time since May 4th. And he does well in his return with 2 hits and a walk, and caught a good game and called a good game behind the plate. So Jorge Posada again out with a hamstring strain since May 4th, returns to the lineup, and now he returns to talk with Kim Jones in front of the Yankee dugout. Kimberly?
Jorge, first game since May 4th, 2 for 3. You caught the full game. How's it feel?
Feels good. Feels good. I did a lot of work to, to get back, and, my whole body feels good.
Andy went through 6. They told us he left with lower back stiffness. Was this one of those games you've seen from Andy so many times where he labored but got through what he could?
You know what? He's a battler. He's going to find a way of, getting people out, and no matter what you tell him, he still wants to go out there. So it's good to see he's a fighter, and, I got a lot of respect, what he did today.
Were you a little worried about him at one point?
Well, yeah, he was, favoring. He looked like his hip was locking up, and then, went out there and said, "How you doing?" And said, I'm fine, just slipping. So, just one of those things that he's going to find a way of getting people out.
Jorge, how does this sound? You come back and get a win. You're also in first place in the AL East by yourselves. First time since the last game of the 2006 season you can say that. What does that mean right now?
Well, we just got to keep going. We got a lot, a lot to do. We got a lot of unfinished business, so we're looking forward to staying up top.
We're glad you're back, Jorge. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Well, thanks a lot, Kim. And Kim mentioned the Yankees are in first place alone for the first time since the end of the 06 season, and those are the standings updated through the games tonight. Yankees a half game ahead of the Red Sox, 1 game in the loss column. The Blue Jays next, and then the Rays and the Orioles essentially tied 5.5 behind. So Posada, who led so much to this team and lends so much to the lineup, lengthening it, comes back, gets a couple of hits, catches a win. When we come back, we'll wrap things up, and then the WB Mason postgame. Well, the Yankees win this one 3-1 over the Indians, snap the Indians' 4-game losing streak. Pettitte gets the win 5-1, his 220th career victory, 183 with the Yankees. Lee, the loss. Rivera, his 10th save. Time of the game just over 3 hours. 3-10-0, beating 1-8-0. Jeter had 2 hits. Aceves was great in relief. Join us again tomorrow for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the Cleveland Indians right here at Progressive Field. Coverage will begin at 6:30 with the New York Yankees pregame show on Yes and high definition where available. Once again, our final score from the Prague, Yankees 3, Indians 1. For John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from Cleveland, Ohio. Now, let's go to Bob Loran standing by patiently in our studios.